Can you be arrested for doing something your state says is legal? Something that helps people? In America, you bet.
A raid by armed federal agents.
Federal agents seizing hundreds of pounds of marijuana.
All of a sudden, I hear the banging at my front door, and they say, search warrant, open up, open the door, we're going to tear it down.
Authorities raided Charles Lynch's home.
I opened the door, and about 10 to 15 agents with shields, bulletproof vests, guns, masks. They came barreling in like this, threw me on the ground there, and one of the agents had a gun to the back of my head.
Federal authorities seized 30 pounds of marijuana. What tipped them off to Charlie's marijuana operation? Maybe the ribbon-cutting ceremony that he held.
There was never anything underhanded or hidden about it at all.
Janice Peters is the mayor of Charlie's town. Here she is at that ribbon-cutting ceremony. City councilmen were here, too. So was the head of the Chamber of Commerce.
He welcomed the police, the Board of Supervisors, anybody who wanted to come in any time.
That's because medical marijuana is legal here and in 12 other states. Legal because many people say it treats my illness. Melissa Etheridge says that. About 5 years ago, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. Chemotherapy took her hair and made her sick. She says she was only able to sing here at the Grammys because she used marijuana to get through the side effects of chemo.
It's so funny because I think marijuana has such a social stigma.
Yeah, you're just another rock star trying to get high.
Big rock star trying to get high. But when it comes to the medicinal use of this herb, it is nothing about getting high. You're not getting high. You are trying to get to a place of normal.
High school student Owen Beck used it too.
I was playing soccer and it was really hurting one day when I was running. So I just kind of had to stop playing soccer, and I went and got an MRI, and it was just a medium-sized tumor.
Doctors amputated part of his leg and gave him chemotherapy. That gave him nasty side effects.
It destroys your appetite, and then whatever you can eat, you throw up.
Medicines that were supposed to help him didn't, says his mom.
All those pills that we had, nothing was helping him.
The pills Melissa Etheridge got from her doctor didn't work either. She points out that chemo meant to kill cancer also kills other things.
It's like putting acid in your body. You lose your hair everywhere. You lose your strength. You have absolutely no strength.
And those pills to treat the side effects have their own side effects.
Take the one drug for pain. It makes you constipated. So then you have to take the drug that helps you not be constipated. But that drug, you get diarrhea, and that's going to, so you have to take another drug.
So her doctor, like Owens, recommended marijuana.
I had a choice. All these drugs and all these side effects. Or I could take one remedy that takes care of all of the...
And it did?
And it did.
Here in California, there are hundreds of these marijuana dispensaries. For people who don't want to smoke the drug, they put it in ice cream and chocolate and drinks. And the state of California says if a doctor recommends that you use this, it's perfectly legal.
These places have become an accepted part of California culture. Still, it's odd to smell marijuana in a well-lit store that takes credit cards.
Smell that smell? It's the smell of freedom.
But in Morro Bay, California, the local sheriff didn't like Lynch's dispensary.
Is not in the best interest of a community.
California may have legalized medical marijuana, says the sheriff, but we didn't legalize selling it.
Charlie Lynch was making a profit off of selling marijuana.
He was helping people.
Well, you're making an assumption that he's helping people. He was primarily helping himself.
Now, it's true that some dispensaries have sold marijuana to people who weren't sick. So the sheriff's office staked out Charlie's business.
They sent in undercover sheriff's deputies to go encourage Charlie to break the federal law.
John Luttrell and Reuben Cohen are Charlie's lawyers.
In every case, what they found was that his employees always verified doctors' recommendations. No one could manage to get anybody, Charlie or anyone that Charlie was working with, to dispense marijuana in a way that violated state law.
So after a year, the sheriff handed the case over to the federal government's DEA. California may have legalized medical marijuana, but U.S. law calls marijuana a Schedule I narcotic, the same as heroin.
Marijuana under federal law is a more serious narcotic than crack cocaine.
These protesters argued that Lynch shouldn't be prosecuted. But authorities hauled him into federal court, where he was convicted. Not surprising, since his lawyers were not allowed to even mention to the jury that medical marijuana is legal in their state, or that it's helped people like Owen.
We couldn't say medical marijuana. It's complete bull, but it's the bull that we live in.
You know, it just seems so unfair what they've done to me.
Charlie's life has been destroyed. He's now bankrupt.
I've had friends that they're scared to even talk to me, you know. I had a girlfriend that left me.
In 10 days, Lynch will be sentenced. He faces up to 100 years in federal prison.
They put the fear of gov, I call that, instead of the fear of God, the fear of government into people.
This year already, the DEA has raided 5 other medical marijuana dispensaries. It seems so hypocritical that the government cracks down, given that the leaders of the party in power laughed when they were asked.
Which of you are ready to admit to having used marijuana? Senator Kerry, yes or no? Yeah. Yes. Senator Edwards? Yes.
Even our president joked about it.
I inhaled frequently.
Recently, his administration did announce that they would stop raiding marijuana dispensaries in states where it's legal. But the government still wants to put Charlie Lynch in jail. Why? I don't know. Despite repeated requests, government officials refuse to talk to us about it.
They don't come down on the state legislatures that gave us these laws. They don't come down on the city officials that let me operate the dispensary. They come down on the little guy, me.
When 2020 returns, just what America needs. Free pre-K for every child.
It sounds so good.
This whole thing, it's a scam.
Next.